Hi friends. So last night, Harrison and I had our session number 10 of Parents Empowering Kids from the Strongest Families Institute. We had skipped session 9 because it was about taking points away with the behavior chart, and because Maverick is less than 7, they thought this isn't a good idea for him. So we read through it, but we're kind of leaving that off to the side for now. This week, session number 10 is all about cool downs and helping your kids regulate their emotions. This is a huge one for Maverick. So the reason that you would do a cool down is to prevent major behaviors or as a consequence, kind of like timeouts. So we've used timeouts lots in the past and at different times. But one of the big things that stood out for me was that we don't want to do it in Maverick's room. We want to find another space for it. So I'll talk a bit more about that. But basically, cool down is as the last resort. So we're thinking about all the other strategies we've used, noticing the good, giving change warnings, when and then statements, ignoring whining and complaining. So working with all of those other things we've already been doing, we want to use a cool down as a last resort. It gives us both a chance to calm down. It removes Mav from whatever situation we're dealing with. And then hopefully will help teach him how to kind of feel those emotions and the early warning signs of his anger. So making a plan, it's kind of set up similar to Solver, so that we are working with Maverick to make a plan, and we're thinking about the situation and the options that we have. So I'm just going to kind of run through some key points, because this one, you guys, was one of my favorite sessions that we've done so far. So making a cool down plan. Thinking about things that are ongoing that we need to keep working on. For Maverick, that is yelling and arguing about something that he's not super interested in doing, as well as hurting his brother. The length of cool down time for Maverick, it's how many years they are. So for Maverick, it's 5, and then you add an extra 30 seconds of just quiet time after the 5. So thinking about that, we had to plan a spot. So for us, that's going to be on the stairs, because we want a spot where we can see him, and he's not behind closed doors, he's not in his room. So for us, that's going to be the stairs. So talking about it with Maverick, obviously, anytime we introduce something new, he was yelling and saying it's not going to work. But so we've basically just started to introduce this plan. We talked about the stairs, and we talked about that's where they're going to sit and for how long. I will be using our timer. We have a visual timer, though I probably won't show that to him for the time being, but I do want to make sure that I'm not extending the period of time that he's having to sit in the same spot. We need to think about minor and major interruptions. So minor interruptions would be if he's talking to me. I want to ignore it at that point, and just kind of use a when-then statement. When your timeout is done, you can finish doing the job you're doing and then go back to playing. It's not a time to discuss the behavior. It's a cool down time, and then we can discuss the behavior. Major interruptions would be things like him leaving the spot, or continuing to yell or to try and throw things. So thinking about how I will manage that when it happens. And again, I think it's going to be when then. At this point, we'll see how it goes. Giving a cool down warning. So if he's yelling about, I don't know, whatever it is he's yelling about that day, but we're going to be kind of using almost a when then statement. But if you can't stop yelling, then we are going to have a cool down period. Things that I've used in the past with classes and with my kids are expected versus unexpected. So I'm just going to show you this. So expected behaviors make people feel good. They tell you, they might give you something, they might spend some extra time with you, and that makes you feel good. Unexpected behaviors make people feel sad or frustrated or angry. You might be told that you're not allowed to do it. People might ask you to stop playing with them. You might have to go sit out, and that make you feel frustrated or upset or sad. So that's kind of I'm going to pull this in and use this with Maverick a little bit as we're talking about it, because I think the visuals are really important. But reminding him, hey, this is unexpected. You yelling at me about going outside is unexpected, and it's making me feel frustrated. If you have about 10 seconds Not about. You have 10 seconds. If you can change this in 10 seconds, you don't need to do a cool down. If you do, you're going to need to sit on the stairs. Something along those lines. Giving the 10 seconds and then putting him in his cool down spot. Not putting him, having him go to his cool down spot. We really want him to be doing that himself. So telling him it's time for a cool down, and I'll start the time when you are in your cool down spot. If he is hurting someone, it's going to be immediate to the cool down spot. So that's something that's going to change a little bit for us. Remembering that we have to follow through. Follow through. Actually do it. And then he needs to finish whatever he was doing or was being asked to do, putting dishes away, something, whatever it is that he was doing when the problem started. We don't just gloss over that. He's got to go back and finish that job. Really thinking about noticing the good afterwards. So I'm looking forward to this week. I think this is going to be a good one for us. I mean, it's things we've put into place before. And you guys, we have actually seen a lot of improvement with Maverick over the past, 2 months when we've been doing this. I have to tell you a story about on the weekend, we were camping and we were with friends, though we were socially distancing. And one of the little boys accidentally hit Maverick with a bow. We have a bow and arrow that we use. And instead of grabbing it from him and hitting him back with it, Maverick took the bow, walked into our trailer, put the bow where it needed to go, and just took a few minutes to calm down. And that is mind-blowing because before he would have just turned around and started hitting the kid with it. So I do see a difference in his behavior. I know that it's not normal life right now. So he's not going to preschool. He's not going to daycare. The things that would really set him off are not happening. He's home with me all the time, which is what he wants. So we are definitely going to have to try this out and continue to work on it as the school year picks up next year. But the skills that we've been practicing are definitely easy to put into place, and I would highly recommend this program. Anyways, hope you're having a good one. Talk soon.